Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic world, and you, wonderful, wonderful individual. Today, I would like to speak about observing our subjective inner being in objective space. For us to do that, we also have to work and build up our clairvoyant abilities a little. That means our ability to perceive ourselves kind of outside ourselves in an objective manner. And that also means that every emotion, every feeling, every sensation, every impulses that comes up is an objective fact in a sense. And it will be so with every other being too. And with colors and with tones and with, well, math, geometry. And once we are able to observe oneself in space, that means when we look side to side and up and down, first we kind of see that we are in a sphere, for our head is a sphere, and our inner being is part of this objective. So your subjective being, the more we align ourselves to the objective truths of things, of direct perception in a sense, perceiving directly outwards, like you have height and width and depth, but you also have duration of time in this space. And well, if we are to go higher in these dimensions, one will have to connect to something that is alive, something that is ever moving, ever changing, and that cannot be put into any kind of, you cannot draw something that is alive unless you draw it as if it is alive in a sense. For one can draw movements on certain beings and such, right? But to be able to objectively perceive oneself, it is not easy, for one will have to have a certain, it's still love there, for we love to do this, love to observe ourselves and see what comes out of us as inner human beings and such, and finding out what is our strengths, what is our weaknesses. We can also, not do it and end up walking a whole life more or less knowing nothing of ourselves. That is certainly a possibility, but that is because of the choices we make, because of our longings, because of our passions, because of our interests, because of our focus, because of our attention, and our waste of our life force in a sense, or wise use of it thereafter. It is all based on how we readjust ourselves, for there is nothing that is set. We have to wake up our own inner ability to change direction and to readjust ourselves. And when I say change direction, I do not mean change our direction abruptly. Rarely does that happen in life, unless the higher worlds wants to make a statement or something. That happens. It has happened to me at least. And that is when a life-changing situation occurs. I deem these experiences as grace, as I am grateful for them. It has taught me more about myself than decades of my life. For it has brought to me a certain crisis that I had to overcome through my own inner abilities. And by overcoming it in the subjective, it helps in the objective. For by overcoming it, we can come back and help people overcome whatever they need to overcome, if it is possible for us to do so, if we have gone through it, if it is a area of understanding in our life, and we strive to understand everything, every single piece of this reality, from the physical to the etheric to the astral to the ego to, well, the spirit self, spirit body, and spirit man. I meant life body, life spirit. That is the higher forms of our etheric, physical, etheric, and astral, or astral, etheric, physical. For we first master our astral being, our thinking, our clairvoyant faculties, for imagination, for shaping pictures, for having living thoughts. And that is how we transform our astral being to our manas, or spirit self. And over time, when we have developed our spirit self enough, we work upon our life spirit, where the manas is guiding the life, where we are putting our life force to, so that we do not waste it, in a sense. Of course, we do have our enjoyments, and we do have love and gratitude for life, so we do not become ascetic or anything. Life is meant to be explored. Life is meant to have a certain joy and fun in it, and not to just squash it like some bitter being. And, well, life is, to all intents and purposes, growth. But it's love too, and it's pain, it's everything. It's so strange, but when you truly observe and learn about everything that comes out of our own inner being, one really come to understand kind of the whole world. For we are creating the world from inwards, inside, outwards. Without us, we wouldn't know what the world even looked like. It would probably not even be physical. It would probably even be only beings here, and this physical is only apparent. And that is the truth. The higher hierarchy is this physical appearance, but it is their being, and we have to find how they stretch down their being into becoming physically visible, in a sense. But because of it, they are also enchanted and put into a slumber until we, as human beings, awaken it again with our imagination. When we awaken the spirits of the trees, the spirits of the rocks, the spirits of fire, and allow them life inside us, it becomes alive outside, is what I mean here. So if we are dead inside, if we have nothing inside, if we have no hope, we will see no hope outside. But this is something we build through trust of the higher worlds, through listening to their higher thoughts and feelings and morality. For as long as you hear God's law in their words, you know that they are the hierarchy. For they are law, but they are also love. And it is about loving the law and loving. For it is as these things are difficult to put into words because they are so sublime. But having the hierarchy on your side and praying to the Christ, for the hierarchy is the host of the Christ. Michael was the countenance of Yahweh, but now he is the countenance of Christ. So the heavenly hosts are under the Christ's command, as Father said in the Bible. And to come under the Redeemer and to have so many sublime higher teachers is a gift. It truly is a grace and something we should be grateful for when you truly have experienced it. But it is important to ground oneself so that our entrance to the spiritual world is coming from the physical. So everything we see physically, we immerse and we pervade and awaken within us the spirits and the forces that are living out in physical space, in a sense. For if we cut out the physical and calling it Maya and think that we need to run away from it, no. We are meant to explore it, and we are meant to spiritualize it. And see, the Christ didn't come down here and merged with our earth development for us to run away from this earth. He wants us to keep on going, and instead of constantly creating destructive karma, he wishes us to also create healing effects, healing results on this planet. And that is how we, through objective observation in our subjective being, that means our subjective being occurring in objective space, that in on itself makes it objective. You cannot just separate these two randomly. We are all part of this, embedded in this reality, in a sense. And it is fun to think about. It also makes you think a little, you know? That, maybe my being aren't so separate from the universe after all. Maybe kind of is a reflection of it. Maybe it kind of projects and creates it with the help of the hierarchy. And the more we study spiritual science and practice these things, the more we get to know so many hidden mysteries and riddles that wish to be explored but will not show themselves unless we come and stretch our hand to them and wish to find out. For they will not give us insights willy-nilly. They will not give us random tidbits of information just so that we can, what's it called? Get our dopamine fix or something. It truly is for our steady, consistent development and to hold ourselves strong to that path over time. So also exploring things that we otherwise wouldn't be that good at and so on and so forth. For example, in this case, I would be much better at this topic if I were good at geometry, for example, and math and synthetic geometry. That means observing inwardly with our inner eye and forming geometrical shapes that also can move, like a tesseract, for example. That is a multi-dimensional. Is it 4 or 5 dimensions? And it is alive. It is constantly pulsating in a sense. So that is higher. But I am not good. I am really not good at geometry. So I kind of have a disadvantage here. But I won't be deterred, for I am good at other areas. And this is what I focus on, the strengths, but I also try to fortify my weaknesses. So when you are good at synthetic geometry, which is in itself passionless and objective, right? Everyone knows geometry, everyone knows mathematics. But we should not ever stop at mathematics. It is about utilizing the way mathematicians use to observe with the objective feeling there, and you do it with everything in life. But we do not become passionless. It is a balance there, you see? So holding oneself strong to both a certain objective, but also knowing we are subjective. But they fit together, and we awaken as much as making them as close as possible, in a sense. It is difficult to explain, as I said, but it is enjoyable. And I think I will leave you with this today thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for you being you. You keep on going, cultivating your inner being, and you will know what I mean. For you see, once you have developed yourself through spiritual science, through esoteric development long enough, you come to a point where you start to understand everyone, because you understand yourself. And all of us are human beings. Yes, we are subjective, and we are unique in our appearance and in the way we speak, and in our tone, and in our color, and so on and so forth. But we are human beings, which means we have a certain sphere of effects that we are as human beings. So once you explore yourself, what is a full human being? What is a spiritual human being? What is our divinity, and what is also what we need to transform and so forth, is important. For it allows us to understand the world in a much deeper degree than if we only observed it physically and its effects. For we only observe the effects of what is occurring in the spiritual world, the activities in the spiritual world. So we need to connect them again, allowing the higher worlds to connect to the physical again. Allowing. We are not dragging them down. We are lifting up the reality to them. For they will not budge. They will not come down to us. No way. And we are not to materialize spirituality. We are to spiritualize materialism. We are to spiritualize the material sciences and how we perceive this physical. And that is what I will leave you with today. May you be protected, guided, blessed, and loved by Father, Holy Spirit, Christ, Michael, higher hierarchy, ancient masters of old, ancestors from reincarnation. And may you be, well, provided for with all that you need to survive, live, thrive, being creative and inspirational and healing to the world, and may you be safe and sound. Love you so much. See you. Goodbye.